What's up, guys, and welcome to another video of DevTalks with your host Traven, where we talk about everything engineering technology-wise. And in this video, we're actually be diving into Apple. Apparently, Apple lost a lot of money when the iPhone 17 released. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let's dive right in.
Let's stick with tech. Wall Street sentiment on Apple hitting a 5-year low after it unveiled a new line of products earlier this week. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman joins us now for more. Mark, welcome to the program, sir. It's not been a great time for Apple over the last few months. We talked about an upgrade super cycle for iPhones for the last several years. It hasn't developed. Do you see anything, Mark, in the latest unveiling that's going to encourage people to say, yeah, now's the time, let's upgrade?
Well, we haven't talked about an iPhone super cycle the last few years. Others have talked about an iPhone super cycle. To me, it seemed kind of obvious. Design is what sells. New form factors are what sells. Real AI features are what sells. And over the last few years, Apple has not had that. That's why I'm a big believer in this year's release, because new designs, new colors, new looks, new features, that's what sells. So I'm pretty optimistic for these new 17 Pro and Pro Maxes because of the new look, because of the camera improvements, because of the new colors. I would anticipate some semblance of lines this time around. In addition to people simply wanting to check out the iPhone Air. They might not buy it because it's not very practical given the battery life and camera constraints, but certainly it's going to bring people into stores to take a look.
Mark, one thing we've heard from a lot of guests on the program, particularly the bears, of course, is that ultimately it's not about looks, it's about functionality now. What are you doing with Apple Intelligence? What steps have they taken to improve things on that front?
Well, I don't necessarily agree. I think we're about a year away from people really making purchase decisions in regards to AI features. Apple has definitely done a very poor job on implementing AI. Their rollout over the past year and a half for their Apple Intelligence functionality has been nothing short of a borderline disaster for the company. But it's not really impacting purchases. We're still, like I said, many months away from that being a real factor. People buy phones because they break their screen. People buy phones because they want a new look. And people buy phones because they have run their battery into the ground. But in terms of upcoming AI integrations, you'll see a revamped Siri in March.
Can you promise me, Mark, that if I drop this one, the Air, that it won't break?
I can't promise you, but it was actually quite interesting. A couple Apple executives did an interview with a website called Tom's Guide I saw on YouTube yesterday. And Greg Joswiak, the head of marketing, threw his iPhone Air to one of the journalists and asked them to try to bend it in half. Because if you remember when Apple did a super thin iPhone 6 Plus back in 2014, you could just bend it in half like you're bending a piece of paper almost, right? And this guy was trying and trying and trying, and he could not bend that thing. So I can't promise.
That sounded like a challenge. I might go out and buy an iPhone Air now to see if it's possible. Because what if that person's just weak? Like, when the 6 Plus came out and people were folding that, they were folding it in the stores. It was so bad. People were folding it in the stores. And they were putting effort into it, too. They were putting effort into it. Like, just this, of course, if you, whatever, it might not fold instantly and stuff like that, just lightly, of course. But that sounds like a challenge that you put out there. Like, somebody might see that and be like, oh yeah, you think it's not gonna break? I'm gonna try it. Oh, I'm gonna try it in the store or whatever, because you can't advertise something as indestructible and then somebody destroys it and they're like, now I gotta sue you because you lied. This is an exact right here, lawsuit pending right now. But there's a few things that I actually agree with him here. We see him talk a lot when we cover stuff on Bloomberg. The first things that I agree with him is that Apple's AI systems is terrible. It has been terrible, and nobody is really looking for it or checking it out or none of the features like that as much as, so people probably don't care on that aspect. I'm telling you right now, what he is wrong about, who is trading in their phone to get a new color? You just gonna put a case on it. Most people put cases on their phones. Some of them are transparent. Yeah. You got an orange phone. Okay. You told me you upgraded to change the color? That's not a good enough reason to upgrade to me. There's not enough features on the iPhone 17 to upgrade, period. That is the reason why They trended down so low, and they said they lost $108 billion in evaluation after the release launch. You thought they did that for fun? Like, what? And nowhere in there did they announce why it was trending down. He talked so positive about it, but yes, he said the same reasons that people have been trading phones in for years. Years. He didn't what better the only new features he brought up was the camera and the color. So I said it's wrong. He's wrong. He is wrong on that aspect. Like, Apple just has such a stronghold over certain Americans in the US that as soon as a new phone comes out, they just gonna go buy it anyways. Other people for business, they're gonna upgrade, of course. It makes sense. In that aspect, it makes sense for them to do so, right? But on the other hand of things, there's no real reason to buy into it. Maybe the new AirPods, the AirPod 3s with the language translation stuff and all the other features, maybe that would encourage more people to make purchases for that. Maybe, but it's very niche. I don't think that many people are going to be using stuff like that right now. It's dope to have. I love the features. But besides that, yeah, they're going to have a revamped Siri coming up, but still, the revamped Siri's not in this one right now. Nobody's trading in and buying an iPhone 17 right now to wait for a revamped Siri that may or may not come out in the spring. That can be pushed back to the next phone. And then only available on the new phone. And you know what Apple's going to do probably? Apple's going to go out there, come up with a revamped Siri, and say it's allowed on the new phone only. You have to upgrade it because the processing and everything in this phone is strong enough to handle the revamped Siri. If not, you're going to have the old one. That's what's going to happen. That's going to be the catalyst that they were talking about in the beginning to get people to upgrade. That is the reason to upgrade right there. Not what they just showed, or else they wouldn't have lost $108 billion in evaluation. And there's never been that much innovation out of Apple when it comes to products. And I made a TikTok video about this, and somebody said that Apple, R&D and whatever, they keep getting their products stolen. Stolen by who? They the last ones to come out with anything. You know what company steals R&D stuff? Meta, Instagram. Every social media app, if you put a new feature or a new social media app comes out that's unique, Meta is taking it instantly. It's gone. It's gone. But when it comes to Apple, I don't know what they're talking about. I could not tell you what they would be talking about in that aspect right there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate you all. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let me know what you guys think on the reason why. I think they lack innovation, and it's the same thing every year. Yeah, like that event, I expect it to go down every year if they continue this cycle. They need something new to get the blood flowing. It's provocative. It gets the people going. For those who know, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. If you have any recommendations, send me an email, devtalkspod@gmail.com. Without further ado, peace, and see y'all next time.